What's going on, everybody? Welcome into Verts. Shedeur Sanders is taking advice from who? This is a headline that caught my attention. We'll talk about that. Plus, is an 18-game schedule imminent or not? We'll get into that as well. But if you're excited for training camps to be here, hit that like button. We're about 3 weeks away from training camps getting underway. Football will be here before you know it. I cannot wait. If you feel the same, hit that like button. Deshaun Watson, the mentor? No thanks. At least that would be my thought if I was a Browns fan. My name is Harrison Graham. Welcome into Verts, where we talk NFL every single day. Report coming out of Cleveland is that Deshaun Watson, while he's rehabbing his Achilles injury, is kind of turned into a mentor for Shedeur Sanders and the other Browns quarterbacks. Let's break this down a little bit further here on today's show. As Mary Kay Cabot, who's very tapped in, Cleveland.com, Watson has been an awesome teammate inside the quarterback room and meeting rooms and has been a great cheerleader for the 4 quarterbacks vying for the starting job. Shedeur Sanders has, quote, taken him under his wing. That is a major red flag to me. And I don't even really blame Shedeur specifically. Like, look, I'm sure Deshaun just hanging out with the guys, like, I'm not going to say it's some huge negative or positive influence. I don't know. I'm not there. But is this the guy, if you're Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry, do you really want Deshaun Watson really having any contact with your young quarterbacks? Because I personally would not want that. If I was a Browns fan, if I was a part of that organization, it's like, why would I want Deshaun Watson being a resource for Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel? Like, that, to me, that is just a disastrous idea. There's a few reasons for that. Number one, Deshaun Watson didn't even want to be a Brown, if people remember. When he was getting courted by 4 teams, it was the Browns, it was the Saints, the Falcons, and the Panthers. And I can't remember which 2 it was down to. I think it was the Falcons and either the Saints or Panthers. It was down to those 2. And Cleveland was out. But then Jimmy Haslam, who's a nut, decided, hey, Andrew, hey, Kevin, let's just give him the fully guaranteed money. So Watson only chose Cleveland because they gave him a fully guaranteed deal, $230 million guaranteed. Don't blame him, but it's like his intentions weren't even like, I'm trying to be a Brown. So that's number one, why I wouldn't want him mentoring my young quarterbacks. How about the fact that regardless of what is and isn't true with all the sexual assault allegations and everything that was happening while he was in Houston and in between Houston and Cleveland, regardless of what's completely true, what isn't, I don't know if we'll ever know the full truth. At minimum, major character concerns, especially for a quarterback. Like, it was insane that these teams were willing to bring him in, given all of that, number one. But, like, again, you've brought in these 2 rookie quarterbacks. You want Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders hanging out with Deshaun Watson? That makes no sense to me whatsoever. Now, if he's in the building because he has a right to be with the contract, whatever, like, sure, if he wants to point something out, he sees in the practice field, like, I guess that's fine. But even then, I still wouldn't want him around because he's not in my future plan. So why would I want him in the building anyway, regardless of his contract situation? And then lastly, just from a football standpoint, he's not a good football player anymore. Like, why would I listen to Deshaun Watson's quarterbacking advice? He has not been good in 5 years, right? He has not been a good quarterback in 5 years. It's one thing if it's like, aging quarterback, he's not a starter anymore, but he's seen a lot. It's like, yeah, Watson played some good football early in his career for like 2 or 3 or 4 years, but like, it's not like this is like some 15-year vet who fell off a cliff at 35 and still has the wisdom and the experience that he can pass along. Like, I don't view him that way at all. I view him as a guy who played some good ball early on, was kind of a freelancer, and then just his career collapsed because of decisions he made outside of football. I don't view that as someone I want mentoring my quarterback. And again, this is on the Browns. Jimmy Haslam this offseason, to his credit, took ownership and said, yeah, the Deshaun thing was a big swing and a miss. We shouldn't have done it. It didn't work out. And he said it in a way of like, there's no coming back from it. Like, Watson is not in their plans moving forward, and I think their actions have proven that. They have 4 fucking quarterbacks on the roster. So, okay, sure, he's under contract. You can easily tell him, hey, Deshaun, don't show up to the building. You are not in our plans. At some point, we'll cut you, but we can't right now. Stay at home. You can train, do your own thing on your own. Hope some other team will bring you on board once we move on for you, once it's possible contractually. They do not have to let him in the building, and they're choosing to do so. And Shedeur Sanders, who by all accounts was having a pretty good spring, and then, of course, the car incident, and now he's being mentored by Deshaun. Dillon Gabriel is soaking up what Deshaun Watson is saying. I just – and by the way, you have Joe Flacco. And I know Joe Flacco has come out over the years and said it's not my job to mentor, but, like, I would hope the young guys, can absorb some of the things that I'm doing. Like, that's perfect. You can learn from Joe Flacco, even a little bit with Kenny Pickett, who's kind of been through some things early on in his career. Starter, backup, was a backup for a Super Bowl team last year. Why do you need Deshaun Watson to mentor Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel? Now, I'm not saying the Browns instructed him to do that, but it's happening. It's being reported. I would want no part of that if I was a Browns fan. I don't want Deshaun Watson representing my team in any way. Like that is just not what I want. So that's a red flag to me. That's a concern. And I'm not saying that it's a red flag that I think Shedeur is going to be like some bad guy and make some bad decisions. It's just when I think mentor, I could come up with about 500,000 names before I get to Deshaun Watson. I mean, that's just ridiculous when you really think about it. Should the Browns keep Watson away from the team? I think they should. I would tell him to go home. It's kind of, I've always said this with like these NBA trade requests too. It's like, hey, just don't show up, and when we trade you, sayonara. Like why are you letting these guys lurk around your building? It makes no sense whatsoever. So if I was Watson, you're getting your money, but you're not going to be a part of this team. You're not going to be in the building. You could train on your own. But as far as we're concerned, you are being paid by us, but you are not employed by us, if that makes sense. Okay, we'll kind of wrap it up with this. 18-game schedule. There was a little news article on this that the NFL and the NFLPA are not expected to discuss an 18-game schedule format until at least early next year, meaning 2026. That's really the first time it'll even be discussed formally next. So, what is a timeline? Even if they were to agree to something, that probably means 2027 at the earliest is when that would happen. Now, most believe this will happen sooner rather than later. I would set the over-under at like 2030. Like, does it happen before 2030? Does it happen after? We'll have to wait and see. And listen, players could certainly push for a larger rev share if this happens, and they'll definitely make more money because the regular season games, you add an extra game to the season, cap goes up, you get more money. It's pretty simple how that works. Here is what I would do if I was the NFL. I would trim the preseason down another week, 2 weeks. You could still have your Hall of Fame game, so I guess 2 teams would have a third game, but trim it down to 2 weeks. Have training camp be an extra week or whatever you need to fill that gap. Go to a 20-week schedule. Still don't start until the week after Labor Day because that weekend is for college football. 18 games per team, 2 bye weeks per team. I think if you go to 18 games, you should add another bye week. And then also it just extends your season. Like the NFL loves owning the calendar. And then 1 international game per team. They're already ramping that up. So every year you get either 8 or 9 home games and 8 or 9 road games, and then 1 international game, and it just flips the next year. So if you had 9 home games, this year, you would get 8 next year, and you get the international game every single year. I think it's a win-win for everybody because players are going to get more money. They don't want to play in the fucking preseason. No one likes watching the preseason. A lot of us are sickos, and we do, but we'd rather watch some games that actually matter. And then, there's more money for everyone, owners, players, coaches, etc. because you had an extra regular season game. Like, it's not a coincidence the cap has skyrocketed even more since they've gone from 16 to 17 games. And in this scenario, you're adding 1 game per team, but 2 weeks on the NFL schedule, 20 weeks. You are going to drive even more revenue. And as the streaming services get involved, you're just going to get more and more money. So, and oh, by the way, that pushes back the Super Bowl to like later in February, pushes back the combine, you push back the draft, free agency a little bit, and you own even more of the calendar. Like that, and that's what the NFL has really mastered. It's like a 10 and a half, 11-month sport. This is really the only time of year when there's not a lot going on. Well, if everything gets driven back 2 weeks, then you got a pretty good chunk of the calendar covered. So that is what I would propose. I do think 18 games is coming, just a matter of when it will be here. If you like my schedule idea, my plan, hit that like button on this show. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. Training camps are going to be here very, very soon, so we'll have some real football to talk about in the near future. My name is Harrison Graham. Thanks to everyone for making it to the end of the video. If you did, that makes you a real one. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't, and we'll see you soon.